Afternoon, tubbers. How are we all? I want to start this vlog off by first of all making a big fat apology because for one reason or another I haven't actually been able to film any of my training. First of all, it's only 3 hours long, so it's kind of a bit intense. You're all in there, you know. Second reason, I've not felt comfortable fetching the camera out around my instructor. He didn't want to be on camera, even though the boss man said it would be okay to film. He wasn't comfortable with being on camera, and I was going to do a bit yesterday, but it started to rain, and so I've not been able to get any footage out there, not like I did in my class 2 where I was out in an airfield. I had a bit of downtime while the other student took over and they started to do their training. I'm a sole student, so I've not been able to catch any footage, so I'm sorry for that. Just to bring you up to speed, I did a post after day 1. Day 1 being Wednesday, then we had Thursday, Friday, and today is Saturday. Now I've been out this morning. Each morning I was out at 7 o'clock, early doors I know, and finished by 10. So yeah. So first day went really well. My instructor's not been giving me a lot of feedback, which I'll be absolutely honest with you, I found a bit frustrating. When I was training with Ian Martwick, at the end of every day he'd give you like an assessment form of how you did, a tick box, etc. Anything to look out for, anything to improve, etc. I didn't get that with this particular company, and I found that a little bit frustrating, I'm going to be honest. But having said that, the first day was out on the road and he didn't say anything, so I presumed that there was no problems. So that was the good news. What did we do on Thursday, which was day 2? Thursday we went out for another drive. We went through some town centres, that kind of thing. Well, not town centres, but village centres, where it was busy, tight, lots of traffic, pedestrians, etc. Took all that in my stride, and managed to keep the lorry off all the curbs and didn't run anybody over, which is always a bonus, I find. You know, it gets a bit messy. You start clipping the pedestrians. So yeah, Wednesday was good. Thursday was good. But on the way back in on Thursday, we did the trailer exercise. Because I don't know if those of you that have never done any training, let alone class 1, your driving test starts with 2 exercises. First of all, you do a reverse exercise, which is you start to the right, you come across yourself, and then into a garage, which would they call a garage. It's a bit like to simulate a bay, like you would in any yard, etc. So, and the second exercise is then you pull forwards and you unhook the trailer, and you do that safely and with procedure, etc. You unhook the trailer, drive forward, reverse back at the side of the trailer. And from that moment on, you've never seen that trailer before in your life. That's the way to treat this exercise. So you drive back forwards again in front of the trailer, reverse back towards the drawbar, but you stop 1 metre away. Now there's a trick to that. You drop a glove or a marker down when you uncouple. You drop it down, and when you're reversing back, you eye it in with whatever marker you've picked, so you know you're 1 metre away. But there or thereabouts, they want you to be a metre away. And then you go through the whole, you have to MOT the trailer, so to speak. You have to go around and give it its safety checks, walk round checks, like you would any vehicle you were taking out. And there's procedures to that. So you do the walk round, etc., couple up, and then after you've done all that, you're out on the road for the actual driving part of the test. So yeah, on the Thursday we went back, we did that trailer exercise, and I didn't have any problems with it. So I was comfortable doing that. Then Friday come round, yesterday, and some of you that would have seen, I replied to a few of people's questions or comments, etc. And I said, I didn't have a very good day. I had a stinker, is absolutely truthful. And I know Steve's doing his class 2 at the minute. He went through this, what I call roller coaster, and I said, the advice I offered him was that it is a bit of a roller coaster, and that, yeah, today you had a bad day, tomorrow will be better. I said, don't worry about it, put it to the back of your mind. But I can't practice what I preach. I'd be lying to you. So it really got to me yesterday, and the drive was okay, no problems there, etc. We went onto this cattle market, and we're doing the reverse exercise. First 3 I did under instruction, etc., etc. No problem. Then it just, I don't know, I started to overthink the process, and I was getting muddled, and what wasn't helping is that the instructor was getting more and more annoyed with me. And he wasn't like just being stern with me, he was being what I would deem as arsey. You know, like a teenager almost, which I didn't find very helpful at all. And long story short, we had a bit of a bust up about that, because what you got to remember is that when you do these things, you're paying a lot of money for them, and that money to me means the world. It's a lot of money to me. Some people it's not a problem, but to me right now it's a lot of money. And you know, he was being a bit flippant about it all, and I thought that was wrong, you know. But it is what it is. I'm booked on in this course. I've got a job to do, a test to try and pass. So although I found it very difficult, I put it all behind me and went in with a fresh attitude today, and much better day. We didn't think we were going to get down to the cattle market, because unfortunately, and they didn't tell me this when I booked with them, they don't own a piece of land, they don't rent a piece of land where they can do the reverse exercises. They pay a fee to use somebody else's facility that allow them to use that facility when they are not using it, i.e. the company that it's designed for, the cattle market. So if they've got something on, you can't use it, which is a bit annoying, because when we did the training with Ian Markwick, he rents an airfield, or part of an airfield, old airfield. And Gavin and I decided later on in the course, after day number 4, or day number 5, just before test day, or whatever, I can't remember which way, no, day 4, we decided we'd like to go and attempt the reverse exercise again. He said, yeah, no problem. So we drove up to it, he unlocked his gates, and in we went, no problem. But we hadn't got that here. It was like I had an hour to master this reverse exercise in a vehicle I'd never driven before. The question I was asked was, can you reverse a caravan? And which I replied, yes, but I made it quite clear to the guy that, one of the guys that took me out for my assessment drive, that it was the area that I was most uncomfortable with. Now I say this because some people, some truckers out there, I say that they truck naturally. They are natural truckers. They tack on the reverse exercise into the tight spaces. They'll go into a tight spot, into a yard, and they'll know, instantly what to do. Me, I'm not one of them. I have to work at it. I have to think about it. And when I'm reversing my caravan, I drive 350 miles down to Cornwall. The last 20 yards, I reverse into a pitch. And I'll be honest with you, all I do is look round over my shoulder and I can see what the caravan's doing, and I can alter to deal with it. You can't do that on the lorry because A, there's no window, and B, the bloody thing's massive. So it's not a direct comparison to compare it with, if you can reverse a caravan, you can reverse this. Well, what a hoof. That's not right, I'm telling you that now. So I was getting the first part done right, got the trailer pointing in the right direction, going across the other side of the road. Then I was just in the middle, I was getting it all muddled up, which way to turn the steering wheel, etc. And the more I panicked, the more grief I got off this guy. Look, we've got to get out of here soon, type thing. And I just got to a situation where I was overloaded. And normally I cope pretty well with pressure, no problem. But I let myself down yesterday. That's the truth of the matter. Nobody else's fault, my fault. I let the situation get to me. And the rest of the day, I felt like the world was on my shoulders. I'm not being negative, but you get down about it. You know, you like to do well. So I went out today, Saturday morning, fresh attitude, fresh day, and I said to him, look, let's put yesterday behind us. He agreed. I said, look, is there nowhere we can go and nail this reversing? I said, the rest I'll deal with. You know, out on the road, I don't profess to be perfect, but unless the nerves get to me, I can control that part of the test. I'm more comfortable with that part of the test. That's not saying that I'm going to pass that part of the test, because nerves get to you, situations change. It would only take me to react to something that happened on the road wrong and you'd fail. But I feel I'm in control of that situation. I also feel I'm in control of the coupling and uncoupling exercise. I've got control of that. It's just this reversing. I need to nail it. So I said, is there no way we can find somewhere just to go through that? And he started to think. And I said, well, I know a couple of places. He said, yeah, but the problem with that is it's private land. So we ruled that out pretty quickly. He said, well, we could try the cattle market. It's a cattle market in Derby. He said, but if they've got something on, they generally won't let you go in. But, you know, it might not be busy, and it is early, we'll go look. I said, yeah, I'd really appreciate that if we could go drive out and go and see at least. Worst case scenario, it's part of a drive. That's what I have to do anyway. So we got there, and they allowed us to use one area for an hour. So I had one more hour. So I felt under pressure to get it done. So the first one, he talked me through. The second one, he talked me through. Then he left me to my own devices. And I did pretty well. I messed a couple up. Not messed it up. I didn't hit anything. I didn't go out of the zones or anything like that. But I didn't nail it. And then the last few, it was coming to me. You know, I've got to stop thinking about it and just bloody drive the thing. You know, I'm overthinking the process. I've just got to watch what's happening and drive it. You know, rather than follow, well, I've got to meet that cone there, that marker should be there. When I get to that point, I've got to lock that way. And it all becomes a process that gets a bit overwhelming, I'll be absolutely honest with you. So, I feel better about today. I feel better about what's happened. I now think I've got a fighting chance at least of passing. The biggest part of it will be this reverse exercise. If I can come away with that, having done it without hitting anything, and you can take 2 shunts doing this exercise before it's a fail, I will take them 2 shunts. I have no gripe about dropping minors. the sacrificial lambs, as far as I'm concerned. I will do that because that is the whole part that I'm not 100% comfortable with. So I'll just give it my absolute best. If I can do it in one, brilliant. If not, I'm taking a shunt. I feel if I can just get that in the bag, I stand a much better chance of going on from there. So from there on in, I shall do my very best to pass. So there we have it. You're up to date. The test is tomorrow. My test is at midday, and I'm bricking it. I'll be absolutely honest with you. I've got a lot riding on it. As for everybody that does this test, they all have their own agendas. But yeah, I get this reverse exercise done. It's a big part of the battle, you know. So there we have it. You're up to date, and I'm sorry I didn't film any of it. I genuinely mean that. But if I don't put a vlog together tomorrow, it'll probably be because I failed. And I will do a vlog, whether I pass or fail. But if I fail, it might just take a little while for it to sink in and regather my thoughts. So yeah, I will put that vlog together over the next couple of days, and we'll see how we got on. So the nerves are building, but big breath, best foot forward. Drive safe, catch you soon.